Trump's been saying he wants to annex Canada, but now his press secretary is confirming it.
Does this administration still consider Canada to be a close ally of the United States?
Well, I think Canada is a neighbor. They are a partner. They have always been an ally. Perhaps they are becoming a competitor now. But as the president also laid out in his Truth Social post today, he believes that Canadians would benefit greatly from becoming the 51st state of the United States of America.
Yeah, of course there are allies, but we're just going to take over, okay? I know you're my neighbor, we're friends, but I'm just taking your house. Just going to take your house, and trust me, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing because I am a financial genius. Let's see what the real economics experts are saying.
I'm going to say this at risk of my job, Kelly, but what President Trump is doing is insane. It is absolutely insane. It is about the 8th reason we've had for the tariffs, and now he's saying he's putting 50% tariffs on Canada unless they agree to become the 51st state. That is insane. There is just no other way of describing it.
Well, and we could go into the strategy of the insanity as a strategy in terms of our trading
Insanity is not a strategy. I'm sorry. I'm with you, Kelly, in trying to look for silver linings. I'm a sunny person.
Not silver linings, tactics, right?
Some explanation for this other than insanity. I'm ready to accept it if you can come up with one.
That's an economics reporter risking his job and saying Donald Trump is insane. This is insane. And we all know it's insane. And it gets even more insane when you watch Donald Trump talk about our allies.
We've been treated very unfairly by Canada. We've been treated very unfairly by Mexico. But we've been treated very unfairly by every country all over the world. The European Union is horrible, horrible. And we're going to get it back.
There he is attacking our allies, Canada, Mexico, the European Union, but not Russia. Vladimir Putin could throw a Molotov cocktail into the White House and Trump would be like, it was a great Molotov cocktail, the best, huge, the best Molotov cocktail. Sorry, it's not the best impression, but I tried. Watch Tim Walz.
He negotiated the damn trade deal with them. If trade is so bad with Canada, he was the guy who signed the deal. It defies logic. But look, I think this is how he ran business. He stiffed contractors. He stiffed workers. He doesn't pay his bills. He declares bankruptcy. The one thing is, his claim that he's the business president, he is the worst possible business executive that I have ever witnessed. And I hope, this is what we need. I need the business community to speak up. The Wall Street Journal, thank you. Thank you for saying this is the stupidest trade war, because I've been saying it. And so now I can go back to my constituents, Republican constituents, and say, this is the reality of what you're facing.
There he is, governor of Minnesota and former candidate for vice president under Kamala Harris, nailing it. He's absolutely right. Donald Trump bankrupted his businesses, didn't pay the people that worked for him, and he's trying to do the same thing here and going after our allies. He also made a great point. The deal that we have with Canada was done by Trump 1. So rather than just posting all these tariffs, how about getting into a room and negotiating and coming up with a deal that you like? But what they're doing right now, they're tanking the economy by just throwing out tariffs, and they keep saying he's a business genius. Oh, he's a business genius. Elon Musk is a business genius. They don't look like geniuses at all right now. And it feels like a lot of Trump supporters don't look at history, to look at Trump's history. The truth is, he did not start out with nothing and make money. He started out with a lot of money. His father was a real estate magnate, gave him that money, gave him the start, and then he took that money and went and started casinos in Atlantic City and bankrupted all of them and didn't pay anybody. And then he was down for a little bit, and then Mark Burnett, who was the producer of The Apprentice, comes along, chooses him to be the host of The Apprentice, makes him look like he's some big deal maker. And in The Apprentice, by being on The Apprentice, he made, again, millions of dollars, saved by another person who's an actual business person. And then his next grift was to become the president of the United States and to capitalize on his presidency. The previous presidency, his hotel in Washington was making tons of money because they were making diplomats and others stay at the hotel. A lot of his hotels were charging full price for when there were Secret Service agents protecting them. And so he's continued to grift, and we've seen it with the sneakers and the Bible and the coin and the Trump Bitcoin or whatever it is. The cryptocurrency. And so you got to look at it and say, is this guy really a financial genius, or is he a grifter? And I'm going to say it's the latter. He's a grifter. And what he's doing right now, he's tanking the economy Now let's think about that. Tanking the economy, what's that going to do? Well, the people that will benefit from this tanking of the economy are the billionaires who can withstand this pain. They keep saying, Trump has started saying there's going to be some pain. Elon Musk had said there's going to be some pain. Some of these people that are supporters say there's going to be some pain. You have to tighten your belt a little bit. But remember that they ran on bringing prices down and getting rid of inflation, but they're doing the opposite by going to war, trade wars, with Canada and Mexico and China and Europe. Again, I'm not saying that all of our deals are great, and I'm not saying that there's not room for improvement. However, the way they're doing it by posing these tariffs and getting into trade wars are affecting you and me, or you and me. You understand? And the people that can withstand it are these billionaires who are going to wait. Sure, Elon Musk's wealth went from whatever it was, 400 billion to 200 billion. He doesn't care. He's got $200 billion. What's he going to do? Once these stocks tank, these billionaires and millionaires come in, they grab all these stocks at wholesale prices, at low fire sale prices, and once the stock market goes back up, they just made a ton of money. And furthermore, what they're going to do is they're going to continue to gut the federal government and say that they know how to run the government. And that's why you see guys like Elon Musk continuing to get government contracts. He's trying to get a Starlink to take the FAA contract for the Federal Aviation Administration to run all of the air traffic control systems and take it away from Verizon, who recently got the contract itself and hasn't really been able to implement it. But Elon Musk falsely goes on his Twitter and says, oh, Verizon's messing things up. That's why there's these crashes are happening. Therefore, let Starlink get the contract. Very convenient, isn't it? Billionaires just looking out for each other. And the truth is, this is what I think happened. Elon Musk went to Donald Trump during the election and said, listen, I'll put a couple $100 million into your campaign and we will win because we're going to outspend the other side with all of these ads, and we're going to demonize transgender, we're going to demonize immigrants, we're going to go this route. And the truth is, if you don't win, Donald Trump, you could end up in prison. Because remember, he had those cases against him. He had the January 6th case, he had the classified documents case, he had other cases, the Georgia case, and Elon Musk said, look, I'll keep you out of prison. Now, I don't know if he actually said that, but I know there was a nod and a wink. And the idea was, once I do that, then when you win, I will be calling a lot of the shots, and we're going to do it together, and we're just going to get richer and richer. And the rich can withstand these tariffs. Because sure, whatever, the price of steel is going to go up. What does a billionaire care? They'll pay the extra price for building their home and using the steel or whatever it is. But the people that are going to suffer are small businesses. How about these smaller beer companies who are going to have to pay more for steel and aluminum for their cans, and then they pass the prices on to us, and we show up and we go, well, I can't afford to buy that beer, therefore that company will suffer. The whole idea that we can tariff the world into buying more American and coming and building in America, it's just blind. Because the truth is, we live in an international world right now. There's an international world where trade is happening, where things are made cheaper in China. That's just a fact. Things are made cheaper in India. It's just a fact. And if you want to make things cheaper in America, then you're going to have to figure out ways to do it. And they're not doing it right. All they're doing is plunging the stock market, plunging people's 401ks, rising egg prices, rising prices of everything. They don't care. You think Donald Trump is sitting there looking at his checkbook going, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to afford that meal today? No, he doesn't care. He's just sitting there throwing things out, spewing things, saying that Europe and Canada and all these people treat us very unfairly and not being critical of Russia at all. You know who's enjoying this? You know whose stock market is doing well? Russia. So if you don't think Donald Trump is a Russian asset, whether he knows it or not, then I think that you're missing the picture here, because he really has done everything in favor of Russia, against America, and he's destroying America. And all you got to do is look at the history. We are now his latest casino, and we're going down, folks. We voted for the state of idiocracy, and we're living in it right now. Trump won. There were some people, there were some adults in the room that could stop the insanity. But now the insanity is happening. As that economics reporter said, this is just insane. And who knows where it'll lead to. All I know is you better just tighten your belt, eat a little less, because it ain't getting better fast. I'll let you know that. Guys, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. It's a comedy special. Check it out. Leave a comment. Let me know you came from this video. And also, I'm touring all over the country, so go to mazjobrani.com and come see me live. We need laughs. That's one thing that has not gotten costlier. Laughs are still pretty cheap. So come out and laugh, and let's see what the future holds.